What's up, everybody? Tomo here from Tomo Finance, bringing you another live stream. Today, I want to talk to you about the latest scam that I have come across. It happened to me. Well, it didn't happen to me, but it was attempted on me, and I thought we would walk through it together. So you don't have to encounter any loss of money or be a victim to this scam. So we're going to walk through it together. Now, looking back on this, there was red flags all over these things. Honestly, I was a little blasé about it to start with. Life gets busy, you're messaging, wrangling the kids. So I was a little blasé at the start, but then once I'd cottoned on, it was quite obvious that this was a scam. So we're going to talk through all the red flags on this one, teach you some tips and tricks on how to avoid it. Hopefully, you get something useful out of this. So with that, let's get into it. So this it's called the Pay ID scam, and actually I was a little bit impressed with the level of sophistication that was involved in this scam. Normally, sometimes we see scams where you receive a random email from someone asking for some money to save somebody. Here, they've inserted themselves into where I came across it was Facebook Marketplace. The benefit of that is that you are a willing seller looking for a willing buyer on Facebook Marketplace. So you have an incentive to try and sell your product. So it's quite clever the way they've inserted their way into Facebook Marketplace, and they're using the payment transaction to be able to try and extract money from the seller. Very clever, very clever. But this scam it was a little bit old. It's about a year old, according to the news headlines. About $260,000 lost so far. So we're going to talk through this, try and identify the red flags as we go. Hit a comment. Let me know if you found any red flags as we go, and we'll keep this interactive. So hopefully you'll get some enjoyment out of this. Oh, don't know if you get enjoyment, but hopefully you learn something new out of this. So it starts with you posting something online to sell. Here, we're selling our double pram. Our little girls are grown up now. We don't need this item anymore. So here we've posted on Facebook Marketplace that we're selling a double pram. And then Anika comes into the fold. Anika comes into the fold. Is this still available? Such and such. I said, yes, it's still available. What condition and where are you located? Now, right there, that should be a little bit of a red flag because all this information was already in my post. I've said what condition was in. I've taken photos of it. I've said where you can pick it up from. So that's the first red flag in this one. I was kind of a bit of blasé and just glossed over. Said, yeah, it's in good condition. You can pick it up from where I live. Then we move on to the next slide. What is the local pickup address? Would you like to meet? So my friend will come and pick it up because I'm not available to do this myself. I'm busy at the hospital looking after my sick mum who has suffered from breast cancer. So worried. What a horrible person. What a horrible person to make up something like this. Nevertheless, this is what scammers do. Again, I think I was wrangling the kids at this stage. Like, yep, sorry to hear that. That's a horrible thing, let's meet up, that sort of thing. Not really reading it in detail, reading back on it, massive red flag, giving far too much information for a Facebook Marketplace sale. What they're attempting to do here is draw on your emotion, draw on that empathetic side of human beings. To go, oh, I'm really sorry, I'm really sorry. How can I help you? And that's what they're attempting to do here. So continue the conversation on at this stage. It's then I start to become a little bit suspects. Like, okay, perfect. Do you have an account with a Pay ID so I can proceed with the payment? Because my friend doesn't have a bank or cash where I can send the money to, so it's all on me. So like, okay, this is starting to get a little bit interesting. I'll send my Pay ID information. So if you don't know what Pay ID is, it's a way of transferring money between banks. It's set up on a unique ID such as your mobile phone number or your email address. So it's very good, it's very quick. So I sent through Anika my Pay ID information. She goes, I need your email address because I'm paying from a business account. So Pay ID, it needs a unique ID, either your mobile phone number or your email address. Doesn't normally need your email address if you have not set it up with your email address. So this is where it started getting weird. Now this is where I started getting a lot of really suspect on Anika. Um, Nevertheless, I thought I'd play along and I sent her my email address, and she even sent me a screenshot saying email address with the Pay ID. So that was really clever. So she could have screenshotted this, she or he could have screenshotted this from a regular Pay ID screen because some Pay IDs use an email address. But she sent that through. So that was really interesting. And it was level of detail probably I'm not used to coming across in scams. So anyway, she'd sent that through and she goes, "Hello, I'm done with the payment. Do check your email." So this was really clever. So she needed my email because there's going to be a second level to the scam. First level is she's made contact with me, and if it just had stayed at that, she hasn't offered to pay me cash. She hasn't offered to pay me through PayID yet. She needs to get further information from me in terms of my email address to form the second level of the scam, to give more authenticity around the scam. So should you receive a notification, "I've just received an alert from PayID that there's an error letting you have access to the funds because your account is not a business user account." Very weird, very weird. It's asking me to send an additional $500. Total funds will be credited to your account. That sounded as odd. That sounds very, very odd. And then, but I checked, obviously, she now has my email address, and I get this email. Okay. Looks relatively legit. It's got the PayID logo on there. It's even got from PayID in the from column. I'll teach you some tricks on how you can check this. But the email itself says, "Dear valid customer, etc., etc., etc. Please ask the buyer to send another $500 so we can upgrade your account to a business PayID account." Now, PayID, any bank will never ever ask you to deposit additional funds in order just to verify. That won't happen. That won't happen. So this is really odd, but I thought we'd keep going along with it because it's quite humorous. I wanted to see how in depth the scam went, and so a good trick to do is if you're on your laptop where it says from PayID, just hover your mouse over that from the email address that says PayID. Hover your mouse over that. That's a good way of checking the email address. You can't do it on a mobile phone so well, but you hover your mouse over it and you can kind of get a quick sense, is this a legit email address? So on my mobile phone, I had to click it. Like I had an Apple, try not to click it if you can help it, especially if you're on a laptop. Just try to hover your mouse over it. I wasn't so worried because I was on my mobile phone. And the email address came up as it was even pretty good. It started with PayID in the email address, blah 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 at Gmail, and that's like, okay, this is rubbish. You know, PayID is not going to send me an email from a Gmail account. Normally, though, this is one's a little bit better because it says PayID in the email. Normally, sometimes I've had some Apple scam emails before, and the email address will be ABCD123, and it'll be this really long email address. That's obvious that's a scam. This one's a little bit better. So they've set up a Gmail with the PayID email address in it. They've drafted a reasonably professional email. That might not fool a lot of people. It definitely would fool some people if you weren't, if you're not used to using the internet, not used to using PayID and these things. And they've laid it out, and they've laid out $120. So they've obviously they've gone in there, changed it. That's the price of the item I was selling, $120. They've done all that. So it's quite a lot of effort that's gone into this. Okay, so we know it's a dodgy email. Let's see where it goes from here. "Is your account a business account?" I said, "No, it's a personal account." She said, "The payment has already been deducted from my account and an available balance. And the reason the payer is requesting this is because I have sent the payment as a business transaction." So, and then she says, "So if I send you another $500, can I trust that you will give it back to me?" And this is the scam. This is the scam part. So the whole part of her sending me money is obviously a scam, $120, $600. Through this whole transaction, she's trying to extract from me this $500. That's the main part of the scam. That's what she's trying to extract from me. And she's gone through this whole story through Facebook Marketplace, and a place where I'm a motivated seller. I'm looking for a motivated buyer. So that's quite clever. And then gone through 2 layers between contacting me and talking about a payment, and then trying to get my email address for a second kind of verification of the scam. So that's the whole part. We're trying to get $500 out of me. And I get this second email saying, "Your account has been credited." Excuse me. Sum of $620. please send $500 and then email us the screenshot so we can verify. So the idea is that the amounts would offset. I would get 126.20 from her, send her 500. I get $120 net. And so this is where this should be an alarm bells at this stage as well. You've received no money into your account. You've only received screenshots and emails, and then you're being asked to send money out of your account. So that's a massive, massive red flag for a scam right there. And she was really, really responsive. So that was another thing that made me a bit suspect. So normally Facebook Marketplace, you text someone, maybe they write back, maybe it takes 40 minutes, then they write back. Annika was really, really responsive, writing back to me straight away. So that was really suspect as well. So that's something to keep an eye out for. So it says here in this, oh, yes, it's been approved. Sounds good. Send the bank details for 500 money and send the screenshot. Pretty much talking to her before. I had to send her 500. She sent me 620. They are trying to secure the transaction and protect both parties from unnecessary loss. That's quite elaborate wording for two people that are just trying to transact with each other on Facebook Marketplace. So there's another thing to kind of look at for the language that's being used in these types of scams. Sends me her bank details. I'm going to take this. I'm going to try and send this to whoever I can in terms of reporting and ACCC and official parties. But anyway, she sends through her bank details, Ubank, Aussico, put your name, etc. So I thought I'd turn the screws on her a little bit here. So, can I connect with you on Facebook to make sure you are a real person? So even on Facebook, if you're not connected with someone as a friend, you can visit their profile, and there are certain markers that you can tell if it's a legitimate profile or not. So even if you're not friends, they'll have a picture, generally have a nice picture that you can see as their heading picture. You might be able to see that they have some friends, or they've put some information about where they grew up, their interests, those sorts of things. So even if you're not friends, you can tell a little bit a legit Facebook profile from a scam Facebook profile. On hers, it had nothing. It had two photos. Said it didn't have any information at all. So it looked like a really dodgy profile. So I asked her, "Can we connect? I want to make sure that I can see that you've got activity on Facebook. You're a legitimate person." And then I think here's where Annika, he or she starts panicking a little bit. Why would you think I am fake? I am out $620 so we can both get this done. She's getting a little bit desperate at this stage because she spent a bit of time talking to me, going through all these messages. At the point now where it's close to closing, I haven't sent any money. I'm not going to send her any money. Close to closing, she's saying, "Let's get this done." So that level of desperation now, which you often see in scams. It's friendly at the start. You're talking jovial. She's trying to build rapport with me. Then let's get this done. The attitude changes. She wants to extract the money from me. So there's another red marker right there. I'm out $620. My husband will be very mad for me for doing this. So she's transitioned from being in the sick hospital with her mom to then trying to put pressure on me. Oh, my husband's going to be unhappy that I've sent you this money. So it's quite humorous. But these scams that they work, they try and draw on your emotional, and if you felt like bad about this, I didn't want to get a call from someone's angry husband. If you didn't feel bad, you might then comply. So they try and draw on emotional fears, emotional behaviors. So again, she's at that level of desperation here. My husband's going to get mad. Very different tone that she's using now. So it's obvious that it's starting to be a scam. And then even sends me another screenshot. So this must have been doctored up as well. So I've blacked it out. That has my name and my mobile number, where it says in the blacked out portion for 2. And it's even got today's date. It says Adelaide. So they've used, obviously not very difficult to do, but used photo editing software to put my name, put my mobile, Mount $500. It looks reasonably legit. If you were just glossing over this screenshot looks reasonably legit. And then she said, "This is enough proof." She doesn't want to connect with me. She doesn't want me prying any further. Obvious scam. Obvious scam here. So then I was like, "Okay, I've had enough of this. So nice try, mate." And I send her the article. This article is from the first page that I've showed you. Um, you know, because she did seem pretty legit. There was obviously red markers along the way, but as you do, if you're busy in your life, you're not paying much attention. There was an attempt to be at a level of genuine. She's trying to be genuine in her conversation. Um, and this article said that $260,000 lost. So that's horrible for the amount of time she wasted with me. Hopefully, she hasn't been able to waste that time trying to scam somebody else. But it's horrible that these people do these things. I want to try and get this information out there. Is some of the things to look for in identifying a scam. So hopefully, you found that to be helpful. As I call this the pay ID scam. They're trying to insert themselves into a transaction. So here it was Facebook Marketplace. Quite clever. You're looking for a seller. They're a willing buyer. You want some money. They've got money, and they're trying to extract money from this sale transaction without the sale transaction actually ever occurring. So pretty clever, pretty sophisticated. There are much more sophisticated scams out there, but compared to a random email that you might receive asking for a donation or a money, something like that, it's a much more detailed and a few more levels than that. So hope you found this helpful. Please share if you think anyone will enjoy it. I'm Tomo from Tomo Finance. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. I'm on the journey for that. So if you like to help out and you like the content that I'm doing, jump across and see some of the other videos I'm doing, and please consider subscribing. And I wish you luck in your wealth journey. Take care.